The human foot is a marvel of biology, designed to carry the weight of our bodies, facilitate movement, and support balance. But beyond its structural complexity, the foot also plays a critical role in regulating body temperature. One of the lesser-known functions of the feet is their ability to produce a significant amount of sweat, up to a pint a day in extreme cases. This sweat is not just a byproduct of physical activity, it is part of a finely tuned system that helps the body maintain homeostasis. The feet, in particular, are home to a dense network of sweat glands, more than any other part of the body. These eccrine glands are crucial for cooling the body, and the sweat they secrete plays a vital role in maintaining an optimal internal temperature. The production of sweat from the feet is part of a broader thermoregulatory mechanism that our bodies have evolved to maintain balance. When the body overheats, the brain signals sweat glands throughout the body, including those in the feet, to release moisture. The feet, however, are particularly sensitive to changes in temperature, as they are often encased in shoes and socks, which create an environment where sweat can build up rapidly. In fact, it is estimated that the average adult human foot contains around 250,000 sweat glands. These glands work tirelessly to keep the body cool, even in conditions where other parts of the body may not be sweating as actively. This volume of sweat production, especially in combination with the body's natural oils and other secretions, can contribute to discomfort and, in some cases, odor. Yet, the feet's sweat production is essential for the body's thermoregulation system. When considering the volume of sweat produced, it is important to understand the why behind it. Evolutionarily speaking, humans are uniquely adapted to sweat in a way that many other animals are not. While some animals rely on panting or other methods of cooling down, humans sweat from a large number of glands, covering nearly every inch of skin. This allows us to remain active for longer periods and in hotter climates without suffering from overheating. The feet, in particular, are crucial in this process. They are often in contact with the ground, absorbing the heat from the environment and generating their own localized warmth. In turn, the body produces sweat to cool the feet down, allowing us to stay comfortable during long periods of physical activity. The amount of sweat produced by the feet can vary depending on several factors, such as activity level, ambient temperature, and even emotional stress. For instance, during intense physical activity, such as running or walking for extended periods, the feet work overtime to produce sweat and regulate temperature. Additionally, when people experience anxiety or stress, the body's sweat response is triggered, including the sweat glands in the feet. This phenomenon is why some people experience sweaty feet during stressful situations, even if they are not physically exerting themselves. The body's sympathetic nervous system, responsible for our fight or flight responses, can activate sweat production as a response to emotional stimuli. However, the feet's sweat production isn't without its complications. In a closed environment like a shoe, the sweat can become trapped, leading to a buildup of moisture that creates ideal conditions for bacteria and fungi to thrive. This is why many individuals experience foot odor, athlete's foot, or other foot-related conditions. Sweat on its own doesn't have a strong odor. But when bacteria break down the compounds in sweat, they release unpleasant smells. Over time, this can lead to discomfort and even long-term foot health issues. Managing foot sweat through good hygiene, breathable shoes, and proper foot care can help alleviate some of these issues. Interestingly, despite the potential for discomfort, the foot's sweat production is not just a byproduct of the body's efforts to cool down, it is a vital part of its overall health system. The moisture produced by the sweat glands in the feet serves as a lubricant, preventing friction between the skin and footwear. This lubrication helps to prevent blisters and calluses, which can form when excessive friction occurs without the protective layer of moisture. The feet's natural ability to sweat also helps to flush out toxins from the body. As the sweat is produced and excreted through the skin, it can carry with it small amounts of waste products, aiding in detoxification. Foot sweat is a fascinating example of the body's intricate and efficient design. By examining how and why we sweat, we gain insight into the many processes that sustain us. While it may seem like a simple and often bothersome function, sweating from the feet has far-reaching effects on both our comfort and overall health. As we delve deeper into the biology of sweating, we begin to appreciate the complexity of the human body and the critical role that even the most seemingly mundane processes play in keeping us healthy and functional. The sheer volume of sweat produced by the feet is a testament to the intricate nature of the human thermoregulatory system. Sweating isn't just about cooling down during exercise, it's a constant process that the body relies on throughout the day to maintain a stable internal environment. As the feet continue to release moisture in response to temperature fluctuations and physical demands, they work in tandem with the rest of the body to ensure that we stay cool, comfortable, and capable of carrying out our daily activities. Whether we are walking, running, standing for long periods, or simply going about our daily tasks, the feet's sweat glands are tirelessly performing their duties, helping to regulate temperature and prevent overheating. The next time you find your feet a little more sweaty than usual, remember that this seemingly minor physiological response is, in fact, a crucial part of the body's broader system for maintaining balance and health. As we move from the basic mechanics of foot sweat production, it becomes evident that sweat is not just a passive response to heat or physical exertion, it is also deeply linked to our body's overall homeostasis, the ability to maintain a stable internal environment. The feet, in particular, play a pivotal role in regulating not only our temperature but also our overall well-being. Understanding this intricate process requires us to look beyond sweat as a mere cooling mechanism and to consider its larger implications for health, hygiene, and even behavior. One of the more fascinating aspects of foot sweat is its composition. Sweat produced by the feet contains not only water but also salts, electrolytes, urea, and trace amounts of other compounds, all of which play essential roles in maintaining the body's internal balance. These substances serve multiple purposes, from helping to keep the body hydrated to facilitating the removal of waste products. The high concentration of salt in foot sweat is particularly interesting because it reflects the body's need to manage sodium levels carefully. While sweat production serves to cool the body, it also functions as a natural way to regulate the balance of electrolytes, ensuring that other bodily functions, such as nerve signaling and muscle contraction, continue to operate efficiently. However, the feet's role in maintaining this balance goes beyond sweat alone. Foot hygiene becomes a critical factor in managing the moisture produced by sweat. While sweating is a natural process, the constant moisture buildup in closed shoes and socks can create a breeding ground for bacteria and fungi. Conditions like athlete's foot, fungal infections, and blisters are common problems related to excessive foot sweat. The moist environment in which sweat accumulates can foster the growth of dermatophytes, fungi that thrive in warm, damp areas. Understanding this interplay between foot sweat and the microorganisms that flourish in such environments is key to maintaining healthy feet. Proper foot care, including wearing breathable footwear, changing socks regularly, and using antifungal powders, helps to minimize these risks. In addition to maintaining hygiene, there are also psychological and social aspects to consider, as foot odor can become a source of embarrassment or discomfort for individuals dealing with excessive sweat. Interestingly, the smell of sweat itself is largely a product of bacteria and other microbes interacting with the compounds in the sweat. Although sweat itself is mostly odorless when secreted, the breakdown of its components, especially proteins and fatty acids, by bacteria produces the familiar smell of foot odor. This process is a direct result of the unique ecosystem that exists on our skin, where countless bacteria live and interact with the substances excreted by sweat glands. In a sense, the foot's sweat production serves as a communication system between the human body and the microorganisms that inhabit it. While this relationship can sometimes lead to undesirable effects, such as foot odor, it also plays an important role in maintaining the health of our skin. By studying these microbial ecosystems, scientists are learning more about how the body interacts with its environment and how we can manage and even leverage these processes for better health. The connection between sweat and foot health goes beyond hygiene and odor control. The way our feet sweat also reflects how well the body adapts to environmental stressors. In high-heat environments or during intense physical exertion, the feet work in tandem with the rest of the body to release sweat and cool down the body. This is an adaptive response that enhances performance and protects us from overheating. For example, athletes often experience increased sweat production in their feet during exercise, which is their body's way of managing the heat generated by muscles during physical activity. Interestingly, some athletes may experience an adaptation to this process over time, where their bodies become more efficient in sweat production, allowing them to maintain performance levels in hotter conditions. Foot sweat, however, is not only activated by heat and exercise. Stress and emotions can also trigger a response from the sweat glands in the feet. Emotional sweating, a phenomenon triggered by anxiety, fear, or nervousness, has long been a subject of scientific study. The feet, being one of the most sweat-prone areas of the body, often become a focal point for this response. When we experience stress, our body enters a heightened state of alertness, activating the sympathetic nervous system and triggering the release of sweat. While the sweat produced during emotional stress serves a similar function as exercise-related sweating, cooling the body and helping us manage physiological stress, it also underscores the broader connection between sweat and the body's reaction to both physical and psychological stressors. As we explore the far-reaching effects of foot sweat, it becomes clear that its impact extends beyond the physical realm. Foot sweat is linked to a range of conditions and behaviors, from discomfort and foot diseases to changes in footwear preferences. People who experience excessive sweating may choose to wear open-toed shoes or sandals to allow their feet to breathe. Others may opt for moisture-wicking socks or specialized footwear designed to absorb sweat more effectively. These choices are not only about comfort but also about managing the effects of foot sweat on daily life. For example, individuals who suffer from hyperhidrosis, a condition characterized by excessive sweating, may experience social and emotional challenges due to the visible effects of foot sweat. In these cases, treatments such as iontophoresis, medications, or Botox injections may be used to manage excessive sweat production. The relationship between foot sweat and foot health is intricate and multifaceted. While it plays an essential role in regulating body temperature and maintaining overall homeostasis, it also introduces a set of challenges related to hygiene, comfort, and social interactions. Understanding this delicate balance between the body's need to sweat and the potential for discomfort or health issues is critical for managing foot sweat in a healthy way. As we continue to explore the complexities of human physiology, it becomes evident that even the most seemingly mundane processes, such as sweating, hold vast implications for our health, well-being, and quality of life. By studying these systems in greater detail, we can better understand how to enhance and protect our feet, ensuring that they continue to support us as we navigate the world. As we delve further into the topic of foot sweat, we uncover the broader implications it has on overall human health and well-being. While the feet's sweat production is primarily designed for temperature regulation, its effects extend far beyond basic thermoregulation. In fact, understanding the process of sweat production and its impact on health leads us to consider the way our feet, as vital as they are for mobility, can also serve as an indicator of our body's larger systemic processes. From blood circulation to metabolic health, the way our feet sweat offers a glimpse into how well our body is functioning overall. One of the less discussed aspects of foot sweat is its connection to circulatory health. The feet are at the farthest point from the heart, and as such, they are particularly sensitive to issues with circulation. When circulation is poor, the sweat produced by the feet may change in appearance, consistency, or even quantity. In cases of poor circulation, the feet may sweat less, or the sweat may become more concentrated with salts or other waste products. These changes can be an early warning sign that something is amiss within the cardiovascular system. Conversely, feet that sweat excessively may also signal issues with the body's autonomic nervous system, which controls involuntary bodily functions such as sweating. Conditions like diabetes, peripheral neuropathy, and hyperhidrosis, excessive sweating, can all have a significant effect on the way the feet sweat, often altering the way the sweat is produced and evaporated. Therefore, managing foot sweat is not just a matter of comfort or hygiene, it is also an important way to monitor the state of overall health. The role of foot sweat in revealing signs of systemic disease is profound. For instance, diabetic neuropathy, a common complication of diabetes, often leads to altered sweating patterns in the feet. In such cases, the autonomic nerves responsible for sweat production may become damaged, leading to either an overproduction or a lack of sweat. This disruption in sweat production can cause further issues such as dry skin, fungal infections, and skin breakdown, which are common complications for those with diabetes. Similarly, conditions like hyperthyroidism, stress-induced disorders, or even hormonal imbalances can alter the amount of sweat produced by the feet. Excessive sweating may become particularly noticeable during stressful situations, as the body's fight-or-flight response is activated, and the sweat glands are triggered. It is also worth noting how foot sweat interacts with skin health beyond just cooling the body. The skin on our feet is especially thick and designed to withstand the pressures of daily use, but when exposed to persistent moisture, it can begin to break down. Prolonged exposure to sweat, combined with the friction of shoes and socks, can create an environment ripe for blisters, athlete's foot, and other dermatological conditions. Athlete's foot, a common fungal infection, thrives in warm, damp environments, and the excessive sweating of feet can create the ideal breeding ground for fungi to grow. In addition, sweat can interact with the natural oils in our skin, leading to an imbalance that can cause irritation and other skin-related issues. Proper hygiene, regular washing, and drying of the feet, as well as using appropriate moisture-wicking socks and shoes, are essential for maintaining skin integrity and preventing infections. The interaction between sweat and foot health extends beyond just the feet themselves. Foot odor is often the result of an overabundance of bacteria breaking down the compounds in sweat. This breakdown produces odorous molecules, which can become particularly pungent when sweat accumulates over time without being properly ventilated. People who sweat excessively, or those with certain genetic predispositions to foot odor, may experience a more intense smell due to the high concentration of sweat compounds. However, this odor isn't just unpleasant, it also serves as a reminder of the intricate microbial environment living on our feet. The relationship between sweat and bacteria is a delicate one. While some bacteria are beneficial and help protect the skin, others contribute to the creation of volatile sulfur compounds that lead to the familiar smell. Interestingly, this connection between sweat and odor is a natural byproduct of the complex microbial ecosystem that exists on our skin. It is a dynamic environment that constantly adjusts to the amount of moisture present in the specific bacteria or fungi that inhabit the skin's surface. From an evolutionary perspective, the ability to sweat, especially from the feet, has provided humans with a key advantage. The production of sweat helped our ancestors maintain a stable internal temperature even during periods of intense physical exertion, which was particularly important for early humans living in hot climates or during physical activities such as hunting. Sweating not only allowed our ancestors to run and work in hotter environments but also prevented overheating during long-distance activities. It is likely that the human ability to sweat evolved as an adaptation to the need for long periods of physical activity in the sun, particularly for bipedal locomotion. As we began walking and running long distances on two legs, our bodies needed a cooling system that could prevent us from overheating. Sweating, and particularly the sweat produced by the feet, played an important role in this adaptive mechanism. By preventing our bodies from getting too hot during strenuous activity, sweating ensured that we could hunt, travel, and survive in environments where other species would not have been able to endure the heat. Beyond the obvious connection to cooling, sweating plays an important role in moisture balance. The foot's sweat glands work in tandem with other systems in the body to ensure that the skin does not dry out. While feet can become dry and cracked from exposure to excessive friction or cold weather, the sweat produced helps to maintain a healthy balance of moisture, preventing damage to the skin. The skin's natural moisture barrier, created by a combination of sweat and sebum, protects against environmental pollutants and keeps the skin flexible and resilient. This moisture balance is not only necessary for the comfort of the feet but also for their ability to perform basic functions like walking and standing. Without sufficient moisture, the skin can become brittle, which could compromise foot function and lead to issues like calluses, dryness, and cracking. The feet's sweat production also reveals another layer of complexity: the role of environmental factors in influencing how much we sweat. Temperature, humidity, and even altitude all affect the amount of sweat produced by the feet. In hot, humid environments, the sweat produced by the feet is more likely to accumulate quickly, creating a wet environment that can lead to discomfort or infections. In dry climates, sweat evaporates more quickly, meaning that the body may need to produce more sweat to maintain a constant cooling effect. At high altitudes, where the air pressure is lower, the body may also produce more sweat as a way to cool the body when physical exertion increases. These environmental factors have likely shaped the way humans have evolved to sweat. With certain populations developing more efficient cooling mechanisms to cope with their climates, in exploring the relationship between foot sweat and human health, it becomes clear that sweat is far more than just a bodily response to heat. It is a complex, multifaceted process that influences our comfort, hygiene, and overall health in ways we may not even fully understand. By examining the science behind foot sweat and its impact on the body, we can better appreciate its role in maintaining our physical well-being and learn how to manage it for optimal health. As we continue to explore the role of foot sweat in human health, it becomes essential to consider its connection to our broader physiological systems and its long-term implications. Foot sweat is a small but significant player in the body's overall strategy to regulate internal conditions, and it functions within a wider system of adaptation and survival. Beyond its role in temperature regulation, the way our feet sweat has a profound impact on aspects of health that we may not immediately associate with sweat itself. By understanding these connections, we gain insight into the larger role of the body's sweat production system and its interconnectedness with different bodily processes. Foot sweat's impact on skin health is more than just a hygiene concern, it has long-term effects on the integrity of the skin and the prevention of skin conditions. As we noted earlier, sweat can create an environment conducive to fungal infections, especially when it accumulates in warm, damp conditions. Conditions like athlete's foot and fungal toenail infections are a direct result of moisture trapped in shoes, combined with a lack of air circulation. However, this prolonged exposure to sweat can also lead to another, more insidious concern: skin breakdown and chronic inflammation. Repeated or prolonged sweating, without proper hygiene or moisture control, can contribute to conditions like eczema or dermatitis, which may cause itching, irritation, and sometimes scarring. In some cases, individuals with compromised immune systems may be more vulnerable to such conditions. And these can interfere with the skin's ability to heal itself over time. In addition to being uncomfortable, such issues can increase the risk of infections if left untreated, but the implications of foot sweat extend beyond the skin's surface. Sweat production and the body's need to manage moisture also play a critical role in maintaining the health of the nervous system. The autonomic nervous system, which controls involuntary functions such as sweat production, directly influences the way we experience stress and regulate internal body temperature. In cases of heightened stress or sympathetic nervous system activation, foot sweat is just one of the body's many responses to prepare for a fight-or-flight situation. The sweat glands in the feet are especially sensitive to changes in this system, and in extreme cases, this can lead to excessive foot sweat that results in conditions like hyperhidrosis. Hyperhidrosis, whether localized to the feet or affecting the entire body, is a condition where the body overproduces sweat, often without the typical triggers of heat or exertion. This condition can be embarrassing, and it is linked to anxiety and other emotional factors that elevate stress levels. The condition not only affects social well-being but can also lead to complications such as foot odor, fungal infections, and increased wear on footwear due to excess moisture, in addition to affecting skin and nerve health. Foot sweat is also a contributor to the body's overall fluid balance and electrolyte regulation. While most people are familiar with the concept of electrolyte balance in terms of hydration during physical activity, foot sweat plays a subtle but essential role in this process. Sweat is not just water, it also contains important electrolytes like sodium, potassium, and chloride, all of which are critical to maintaining fluid balance within the body. The loss of electrolytes, especially during periods of intense foot sweating or excessive sweat buildup, can lead to dehydration and electrolyte imbalances. The body's thirst mechanism typically responds to dehydration by signaling for more fluid intake. But when foot sweat is involved, the loss of these electrolytes can be harder to replenish with regular water alone. This is why it's important to use sports drinks or electrolyte-enhanced fluids after long periods of sweating, as they can help replace the electrolytes lost through sweat. In extreme cases, an imbalance of electrolytes can lead to muscle cramping, dizziness, or more severe health issues such as heat exhaustion or heat stroke, making it clear that the feet sweat production impacts much more than just our comfort. Foot sweat also has profound implications for physical performance, especially in sports and exercise. Athletes, in particular, experience the effects of foot sweat not only in terms of comfort but in terms of their overall ability to perform. The feet are fundamental in providing stability, balance, and propulsion during most physical activities. When the feet sweat excessively, it can cause slipping within shoes, leading to decreased traction and control, which in turn can affect performance. Athletes often face challenges when their feet sweat too much, as this increases the risk of blisters, reduces the efficacy of insoles, and, in some cases, leads to the development of calluses or skin abrasions. As a result, many athletes take steps to manage their foot sweat more effectively, using specialized socks, moisture-wicking insoles, or foot powders designed to control moisture and minimize the impact on performance. The inability to manage foot sweat effectively during high-level sports can not only lead to physical discomfort but can also reduce an athlete's overall output and endurance. Looking at foot sweat from the perspective of technology and innovation opens up fascinating possibilities. As our understanding of foot sweat and its effects on health continues to deepen, there is an increasing interest in developing smart footwear and wearable technology that can help manage sweat production. Innovations like moisture-wicking fabrics, temperature-regulating shoes, and even shoes equipped with built-in foot sensors have the potential to revolutionize how we approach foot health. These advanced technologies could track sweat production in real time, providing valuable feedback to users about their hydration, electrolyte levels, and overall health status. This information could be useful not only for athletes but also for individuals suffering from excessive sweating or those who simply want to improve their foot hygiene. The future of managing foot sweat may not be about simply accepting it as a natural response, but rather using technology to optimize how our bodies deal with it, providing better outcomes for overall health and well-being. As we look toward the future of foot health, we must also recognize the importance of developing better methods for managing foot sweat and its associated conditions. While traditional methods such as using foot powders, choosing breathable footwear, and regularly changing socks have always been effective, advances in medical technology and research may soon provide new solutions for those who suffer from excessive sweating or foot-related skin conditions. For example, researchers are working on developing medications or procedures that can reduce sweat production in individuals with hyperhidrosis, while others are exploring the potential of Botox injections to block the chemical signals that trigger excessive sweat production. Such treatments have already shown promise in managing other forms of excessive sweating, and their application to foot sweat could provide much-needed relief for those affected by it. The body's intricate response to temperature regulation, including foot sweat production, reveals the complex ways in which our physiological systems work together to maintain balance. Whether it's the direct effects of foot sweat on skin and nerve health or its wider implications for our fluid balance and physical performance, this seemingly simple process is far more significant than most people realize. Understanding the science of foot sweat can help us not only manage discomfort and prevent health problems but also provide a deeper appreciation for the remarkable adaptability of the human body.